everyone. Welcome to Srimati Arts Kalaria School channel. My name is Riddhi Trivedi. Today we will study Science of Standard 7 NCERT, Chapter number 2, Nutrition in Animals. In Chapter 1, we had understand the nutrition in plants. In this chapter, we will understand the mode of taking food, utilization in the body, and the requirement of the animals in this chapter. Now here we will today cover these three topics: digestion in humans, digestion in grass-eating animals, and feeding and digestion in amoeba. Now before that, let us understand the basic requirement of the food which we need for the growth or survival of the body, which needs for different functioning and repair of the body. Nutrition is a process of obtaining food by taking the mode of food. The components of food, such as carbohydrates, there are various components, isn't it? Carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamins. So, such as carbohydrate cannot utilize it. They are a very complex substance. So, it is necessary to convert in a simpler substance. So, to break down of food into a simpler substance from complex substance, this process is known as digestion. There are different ways of taking food, isn't it? The mode of taking foods are different in different animals. For example, python, it swallows, isn't it? Then mosquito, which bites. Housefly, isn't it? Then next, butterfly, it sucks nectar from the flower. So every animals have a different mode of taking food. And even we can see in the animals like grass eating, they swallow and chew. So all have different taking of food mode and feeding also. So today we will understand the digestion in humans. How the food is digestion. What are the organs are involved in the digestion system on the human. So students, come on, let's start with the digestion in humans. Digestion in humans, we take in food through the mouth, digest it and utilize it. The unused part of the food are defected. The food passes through a continuous canal, in which begins at the buccal cavity and ends at the anus. The canal can be divided into various compartments. The first one is buccal cavity, second food pipe, or we can say esophagus, third stomach, fourth small intestine, fifth large intestine which ends in a rectum, and sixth one is a anus. Is it not a very long path? These parts together form an alimentary canal, which we can say a digestive tract. The food components gradually get digested as the food travels through the various compartments. The inner wall of the stomach and the small intestine and the various glands associated with the canal, such as salivary glands, liver and pancreas, which secretes digestive juices. The digestive juices convert complex substances of the food into simpler ones. The digestive tract and the associated gland together makes a digestive system. The food is taken into the body through the mouth. The process of taking food in the body is called ingestion. We chew the food with the teeth and break down mechanically into small pieces. There are 4 types of teeth: incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Then our mouth has a salivary glands which secretes saliva. The saliva breaks down starch into sugar. Now the food which is swallowed through the food pipe, or we can say esophagus. The swallowed food passes into the esophagus. Now what is this esophagus? Esophagus is located behind the trachea, which is a muscular tube. It connects to the pharynx, which we can say a cavity behind the nose and mouth. The epiglottis means a tiny flap valve elastic cartilage. It separates the nasal cavity and food passage. When the valve opens and air passes in the windpipe, and that is the reason the food enters in the stomach, which passes through the esophagus. It does not go to nasal trachea due to this epiglottis, which is a flap-like valve. And we swallow the food or any liquid, it closes and goes down the food pipe. Food enters into the stomach through esophagus. Now what is the stomach? Stomach is a thick-walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened J, and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives food from the food pipe at one end and opens into the small intestine at the other side. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, that we can say HCl, and digestive juices. Now what mucus does? Mucus protects the lining of the stomach. The acid, which acid? That is a hydrochloric acid. The acid kills many bacteria that enters along with the food when we taking the food and when our mouth is open, and makes the medium in a stomach acidic and helps the digestive juice to aid. The digestive juice breaks down the protein into simpler substances. Now, after that process, here we can say the food is partially digested. The proteins components break down into simpler one. So, in the food enters into the small intestine. In small intestine, it receives a secretion from the liver and pancreas. So, what is the liver now? The liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen. You can see on the figure on the right side. It is the largest gland in the human body. It secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac, or we can say a bag, which is known as a gallbladder. It plays an important role in the digestion of fats. So, liver aids in a various fats digestion components. The next one, food enters in the pancreas. The pancreas is a large cream colored gland just located below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on various components of the foods like carbohydrate, fats and proteins, which change them into a simpler forms. The partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. The carbohydrates get broken into a simpler sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acid, and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. Now, what happens in the small intestine? Now, small intestine is a highly coiled and is about 7.5 meters long, as its name is small intestine, but its task is big. It receives a secretion from the liver and pancreas. As we see now, the liver or pancreas secretes these juices. Beside it, wall secretes the juices. The digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall of intestine. This process is known as absorption. The inner wall of small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These are known as villi. Now what the villi does? Villi increase the surface area for absorption of digested food. Each villus has a network of a thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of the villi absorb the digested food materials, and these absorbed substances are transported via blood vessels to the different organs of the body, where they are used to build up complex substances such as proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation in the cell. The glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into CO2, that is a carbon dioxide, and water, and then energy is released. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed enters into the large intestine. So we can say that all the components of the food are digested in a small intestine. So the food takes a time in a small intestine for the process. Now what happens to the undigested part? From the small intestine, it goes into the large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine. Now here, the name large intestine does not have a large task. It is a very small task. Okay, it is about 1.5 meter in length Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. Large intestine, what does? It absorbs the water and some salt from the undigested food material, and the remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as a semi-solid fecal. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. So, this process is called egestion. So, students, in this topic, digestion in human, we had to understand the whole process through ingestion, from ingestion to egestion. We understand the digestion in human. Let's move to the next topic, that is a digestion in grass-eating animals. There are various grass-eating animals, isn't it? Cow, buffalo, isn't it? Various grass-eating animals. So let us understand the digestion in grass-eating animals. Have you observed cows, buffaloes and other grass-eating animals chewing continuously even when they are not eating? Actually, they quickly swallow the grass and store it in a part of a stomach called rumen. In rumen, the food gets partially digested and is called a cud. But later on, the cud returns to the mouth in a small lumps and the animal chews it. This process is called rumination, and these animals are called ruminants. Now students, here you keep in mind that grass is rich in cellulose. Now what is this cellulose? It is a type of a carbohydrate. Okay, in ruminants like cattle, deer, etc., bacteria present in a rumen which helps in digestion of cellulose. So we humans cannot digest grass, isn't it? Because it is rich in cellulose. Many animals, including humans, cannot digest cellulose. Animals like horses, rabbits, etc. have a large sac-like structure. It's called a cecum. Now look at the figure. What is the cecum? Cecum is a bag connected to the junction of large and small intestine between the esophagus and small intestine. The cellulose of the food is digested here by the action of certain bacteria which are not present in human. The next, that is a feeding and digestion in amoeba. Now students, look at here figure of amoeba. Okay, amoeba is a single microscopic cell which is surrounded by a nucleus, cell membranes and many small vacuoles. Now this is a nucleus which is a must needed for the every living organism. It is the basic requirement. The next is pseudopodia, which includes the food particle egestion, we can say food vacuoles and the removing waste. Now amoeba has a various small bubbles like food vacuoles, isn't it, around its body. But when amoeba senses food, it captures it. How it captures the food? Because when amoeba senses a food, here a finger-like projection, we can say pseudopodia, or also we can say a false feet, which used for the movement and capturing food. Now when amoeba senses food, it engulfs, it traps in the food vacuole, in the pseudopodia, and engulfs it as it lives in a water, pond water. So it modes of feeding is a microscopic organism. Now this process of taking food trapped in a pseudopodia, that this process we can say ingestion. Okay, taking in food is always known as a ingestion. Here the food vacuoles, the digestive juices are secreted, isn't it, which is utilized for the energy, growth and maintenance of the body. And when the food is utilized, the waste is removed through this digestion. So the basic process and releasing energy is same in all animals. So in this chapter we will understand the nutrition in animals, which includes the different ways of taking food, that is mode of feeding and kinds of foods. Then we also will understand digestion in human from egestion. Then next we will also understand digestion in grass eating animals. Such types of animals are called ruminants. Okay, the grass eating animals, such types of elements are known as ruminants, and such process is known as a rumination. The next one we had seen, then the last one, that is the feeding and digestion in amoeba. So here we end our chapter. Thank you everyone.